Hello, this is Ben Marshall and this is my Component 2 architecture project for my 3D design A-level. For this project, I was given the word wire and asked how I could incorporate wire in architecture and how it would inspire new designs. I created 3 initial models, then I refined them down to 2 development models and then built a final project. For this design, I used a wire that spiraled upwards and followed this shape with my buildings. I had 4 core buildings on top of different heighted pillars, allowing for different elevations within the building. I connected them with the staircases that followed the same spiral shape as the wire, leaving the building spiraling upwards like my initial wire that gave me the core shape I wanted to use. I decided to make the building open with lots of windows and decided this would be a great building to have as a nature observatory. I decided the 4 different elevations allowed for different viewpoints of different areas, and it also had a really nice spiral aesthetic that I really liked. For my second development model, I decided to focus on a more pressing issue, which was space-efficient housing in urban areas. I decided I want to try and use 4 main pillars to suspend modular buildings, which would be apartments. And due to them being suspended, there would be space below and above each apartment, which would allow for apartments to have their own garden space on their roof. I really liked this idea and I used wire to suspend the buildings. I wanted to take this idea forwards to create my final project. This was my final project. I decided the wires suspending the modular buildings was not stable enough and would not be a good idea to use in urban areas, as if the buildings are unstable, it is not suitable for many areas such as earthquake-prone areas. I decided to have this main shaft going up, which I decided to use as an elevator shaft, allowing access to not only each apartment, but the roofs of each apartment. I wanted to keep the idea of space-efficient housing, as I thought the idea was very good and that garden space for everybody is very important, especially living in an urban area where you may not see a lot of naturous areas. I created mini deck chairs to display how someone living in these apartments may use their roof space to have a nice view of and sit on their garden area. I also incorporated this wheel, which can be winded up to lift up the elevator that goes within the building and allow it to rise up. This would be the main way that people in the apartment would get up and down and travel throughout the different floors in the building. Thank you for letting me show you my Component 2 architecture project for my 3D design A-level.